Welcome into a brand new episode of WSI TV. Enjoy the show.
Welcome everyone to another weekly update after this is Sunday, the 11th of February, after market closed on the 9th of February. Here's where we check in every week at what the overall trend is of the market, short term and long term, so that you don't suffer another 2008, so you know what's coming down ahead. Stock market is a forward-looking mechanism, and you own individual trades. Make sure you're going with the tide of things, so you're not caught blindsided again. So here's is the weekly chart, which is the long-term chart. You see 2015, 16, 17 of the S&P 500, which is kind of the benchmark index for the planet. Really, everything kind of goes off of this. Week-to-week action, these little up and down pegs here, and these curvy blue and red lines are the moving averages. We kind of smooth out that action for us. This is the average of the last 10 weeks, and this is the average of the 40-week. And this 40-week one is very important. It's kind of like a real line in the sand for, you know, bull or bear a lot of the time, actually, and which was particularly significant this week because for the first time since my proprietary system gave the signal to go ahead and declare this a new bull market back in November 2016, for the first time in a long time, it actually threatened to go below the 40-week moving average, that red line there. And for a long time now, I've been saying I wish this would correct healthily, which means to just swoop down, sort of kiss it, or go a little bit above it and get back on with the rally. But for this market refused to even budge much below this 10-week line here, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, the thing, you know, goes on fire, and like 4 weeks running, goes out to this silly level that I've been commentating on. And then the week after that, last Sunday, I remember saying, okay, now you better watch this because, you know, watch what happens next, because that was quite violent action. And sure enough, we had a week that was very, very up and down, and I did a special broadcast on Friday, as you know, which said you better watch that level there. If it closes below that, then watch out for trouble on Monday. So that did not happen. It's not to say it's not going to happen this week, but it doesn't, you know, according to this, it's not saying, look, you know, my worry was, you know, the market happens overnight. What happened in 1987, which this chart is very reminiscent of, was that it was overnight. So you didn't really have time to close out your positions. It was such a drastic drop. So doesn't appear anyway so far that much is happening on those lines, and you can see it went down there. The buyers came in and pushed up this horizontal peg. That means that's where it closed at. That's kind of like a healthy level, actually, but it was a very volatile week, and I didn't care very much for the action. It wasn't an orderly correction. It was very violent, and no doubt the high frequency trading computers with big banks exacerbated that. So let's see if we can draw some kind of trend line here to see if it, and this is why you have to, it's closing price is what counts, and you can see during the week it went below this, but at the end of the week it kind of closed on what looked like still in trend after, albeit a very violent, hairy time. You know, I think it's something like that, and that is not a bad point. If we can have, but it needs to slow down, have an orderly correction, then get back up again. This week I'll be happy if it just, I don't even need to swing back up, just stabilize where it is. And you can see the situation here with the relative strength indicator. I mean, 90% is absurd for a stock index. Should never have been up there, which is why I've been going on and on about 1987. It just got too far ahead of itself. And then you have this violent, it's just on the kind of, you know, borderline right now, the 50% mark. And same for here. This week it needs to stabilize, preferably on that line, if not at least above the 40-week. And watch out for, you know, severe action that ends up with a close, or closing a daily close below that 40-week line. Keep your stop losses tight, and don't wait for tomorrow if it looks like it's going to close badly. You can always close with 5 minutes to go on the on New York time. So let's look at the daily chart for a bit more detail here. This is the day-to-day of the last 6 months. I mean, you can see it was all going fine, and then out of the blue we just had this week, crazy week. In any case, there were days here of distribution days, they call, where actually were heavy selling. There was a lot of dumping of stocks there. But as I said, there wasn't, although we see the intraday price on Friday just got below that 40 which is why I did that special broadcast for you, because I was worried if it closed there Monday would be trouble and you wouldn't be able a chance to get out. But it's hung in there, and this is fine if it just goes around there, but not this wild up down intraday action. That's real instability, that, and I don't like it. So longer term though, let's just sum up here. It's definitely a bull market. There's no question about it. The price is above the 40 week. The 40 week's pointing up. So at this point in time, that's what you see is bull market. Shorter term trend, well, that's obviously down. In fact, last week I was saying to be careful about this, and because of that move there, and I said if it gets below the 50, watch out. Sure enough, there it is, up and down all over the place, and that was the worry on Friday. But buyers came in. This is a market where people have been trained to buy on the dips, and hopefully that's what's happening here. And so shorter term, while this is a bull market, shorter term I'm saying this is a downtrend. This is a downtrend within an upwards bull market. And with a special, watch closely alert attached to that. So I will speak to you next time, and have a good week.
Thanks for watching the latest episode of WSI TV. Be sure to visit WSITV.com, where you can subscribe for free with no contract and gain instant access to the secrets of self-made millionaires via the WSI TV Vault. So go ahead and claim this gift for free now at WSITV.com.